Welcome to Ngozi Talk Shows. Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Challenges we have had to overcome in 2020.
Find your own voice.
The world has become united by the unseen, knowing there are no guarantees for tomorrow.
Lead from within.
Find your own voice.
Let the world hear your voice and be filled within.
For the day has come for you to be a great leader.
The time has come to break away from the pain, distraction, experience the unthinkable.
The world has been united by the unseen. No. Can somebody mute? Welcome to Ngozi Talk Show. Find your own voice. Lead from within. Over to you, Kamal. Please introduce yourself to our audience. And guys, can you make sure you are muted, all of you?
Thank you very much, Nomsa, and thank you the people that are watching, the speakers, and everybody who is going to watch in the future. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you may be. Now, on average, 90% of people live their life not exploring depth into it. They live their existence living with the feeling of being lost or not knowing where to go next. A sense of confusion and a sense of lack of purpose envelops them. So do you perhaps confuse the values that you grew up with, the ones that you were conditioned into by society, by public figures of authority, to your own values? Do you have the feeling of being stuck in a hamster wheel? Always grinding, always running with no sense of direction, with a lack of fulfillment and belonging into your life. My name is Kamal Amar. I'm a certified NLP trainer, master practitioner, hypnotherapist, and a certified life purpose coach. And with a combination of ancient Egyptian wisdom and neurolinguistic programming, I help you create a foundation to a life of harmony, balance, and purpose. Thank you very much. And to you, Bigit.
Thank you, Kamal. Thank you very much. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time that you are at and the locations that you are at. It's early morning here in the US. And have you ever intend to create a different result in your life? Perhaps you would love an even better result that you already have now, or something completely different altogether. And you are working and you're learning about personal development and you start reading everything online and you think you are doing them, but for some reason they still doesn't work. And you wonder why. Well, that's what we are here for you today, to help you fine tune even further, such that you will be able to easily accomplish what it is that you would love in your life, the result that you would love to create in a short time. And that is exactly what I do. I am Birgit Pan and I am a grief transformation and life success coach, here to help you create a life that of peace of mind, ease, joy, and success that you would really, really love easily and with fun. And to you, Claudia.
Hello, welcome everyone from the UK. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon here. I'm Claudia Pruscher and I'm a theta healer. And actually, usually as well, I do the introduction differently. So let's come up with something else. All right, theta healing, what is it? So I'm sure all of you are aware at this stage of beliefs, or the positive ones and the negative ones, and we all have the beliefs and we pick them up at a very, very young age. And then some of these beliefs today in our grown-up life don't really serve us anymore. So for example, if you on a conscious level would love to attract the soulmate and are ready as well to put the action in and to go dating or to just like to go out and about. But then on the subconscious level, you might have a belief in regards to love is dangerous or love hurts or men cheat on me. So something you could have picked up from a very young age, or the parents as well. And then you get the idea on a conscious level, you have the idea to create the relationship subconsciously. You have all these stories and the beliefs, which are not true at all. And due to the container of the subconscious that is up to 90% big, it rules the show. It's always going to protect you and to keep love actually away. So it's always important for you, no matter what it is in life, money, business, family, health, or relationship, to have your beliefs matching with your ideal desire. So welcome, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. So our topic today is why personal development don't work. So have you ever been in that situation where you go to the seminar and or you go to these business events, or you take programs, personal development programs, and you go to cloud nine, get motivated, that enthusiasm, and everything feels good, and then later on everything just, you see yourself, everything goes back to normal. You are still in that relationship where it's making you miserable. You are still earning the same amount of money. You are still working in that miserable job where you don't want to be. So that's what the topic is about today. I'm gonna hand it over to Kamal. Please, Kamal, how do you understand the topic, please?
Thank you, Nomsa, for that short introduction. The way I see it, personal development is, like I said previously, is a part of a certain percentage of people. Now, not everybody will go through personal development, but of those people that will go through personal development, they will sometimes find it very difficult to apply what they are learning. I mean, there is a plethora of books out there on personal development, on growth, on career development, whatever sort of development that you're looking for, you will find it. And you can read as many books as you want to. The question here is, can you be accountable for yourself? Now, the majority of people cannot be accountable for applying the tools that they are learning from, for applying the reading material. Because it's very easy to give yourself excuses. It's very easy to say, oh, I can read this book, I've always been reading, and you start reading, and then you put yourself back into that state of mind, which is, oh, you know, but I'm too busy with work, I can't do this now. You know, no, I read the book and I really want to work on my self-development, my personal growth, but I don't have time for it. Or I'm too busy with something else. You will find excuses. Now, the way I see it, personal development on its own, very rarely, like very, very rarely, will you find a person that is capable to maintain that growth and push themselves. That is why personal growth works best with an accountability person. That accountability person is somebody that you can be accountable to. Not somebody that's going to whip your bum when you don't do your work, but in a sense it is that, right? It is somebody that you can tell them, you know what, I'm going to do that. And what happens is that you're holding your word accountable, not the person, you're holding a word. Now, in old times, the word of a person meant so much more than what it means now. But this time you are making your word accountable between yourself and that person. So what will happen is that you will stick to it most of the time, because you don't want to look like a fool now, do you, in front of that person? You don't want to seem like a, between quotation, a loser. You don't want to be a person that creates excuses and be told that you're having excuses or making excuses. So that's my perspective, and I think I'm going to give it to Bigget and hear what you've got to say about that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kamal. Personal development is actually when you have a desire to change yourself and you go to seminar and even read books. It's not that much different than people creating New Year's resolution and said, I want to change this and that. And you might have heard that 80%, 80, of New Year's resolution, at least 80% of New Year's resolutions fails by February in 1 month. Isn't that quite something? And so why is that? For me, there are a few reasons actually, and I put it in an acronym FACE, FACE. Why? First is lack of focus. If you read this whole slew of material and listen to all the coaches and you like, oh yeah, Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Mary Morrissey, and someone else's, and maybe even you find certain celebrities, Gay Hendricks and Oprah, and then you have this thing that just swimming in you, and you have lack of focus. If you ever you have a flashlight and you shine the light from a flashlight to a wall, it's spread everywhere. If you ever have a laser pointer, it's actually very focused. Now, the difference between laser and flashlight is actually literally, they're both electricity, they're both light, they're focused. Laser can be so focused that it can cut through many things. You can't cut through anything with flashlight. So the focus make a huge difference. The A for me stands to what Kamal says as well, to apply. The problem is when you don't have focus, you have challenge in applying things that make a difference. You can apply things, you can do little here and little there and little there, but what you want to do is to be able to apply specifically what it is that will kind of like the needle mover, and you need to be able to apply that needle mover. And then the other part is the consistency. Many times when we do things, and as Kamal says, particularly if you do not have accountability partner, for most people, you find it challenging to consistently apply at a consistent rate. So it's not just continuing to apply it, because many times we might say, oh, but we're still doing that, But are you still doing it at the same dedication level with the same spirit? So it's not just you doing it, but how are you doing it? And so that leads us to the E, expert evaluator. Expert evaluator is so important because many times when you are in the picture, you cannot see the pictures. When you are doing it and you're doing it and you're doing it, it can be very challenging for practically any human to have look back and say, oh, well, you can be fine-tuning here and you can be fine-tuning there, such that you are super focused and be able to reach where you want and cut where you want easily by cutting through any challenge that you might encounter along the way, because life is life. But that's my take on why personal development by itself doesn't work. What about you, Claudia? What do you think?
Well, you guys already said the main points as well, in regards to having someone to take you accountable. I just made a few notes actually as well. The thing is as well, if we decide to buy something, a package, if we pay money for something as well, we are more determined as well to put effort in it because we paid for it. So this is as well something, if you pay for something, a program, a coach, a healer, and then just like this makes sense as well, rather than having something for free too. And the thing is as well, the coach or the healer, the therapist as well, he's there as well for you to hold a safe container as well, for the client, so that the client feels safe and looked after, and he or she can take the client as well and walk like step step by step as well, in regards to sometimes we might not see the very end, and this can be as well quite frightening, but like working with someone and they guide us step by step. Yeah. And something else as well, obviously I have as well done so many courses, and then afterwards the handbook goes on to self-development. So even I'm just about as well to sign up to work again with a coach in regards to being focused and to create the momentum as well, because I believe as well in different areas in our lives we need different coaches or therapists or healers in regards to show us. And even us healers and coaches, we still have coaches and healers, right? Do you two agree?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like this is something that I tell my clients all the time, is that if you go and talk to a coach and that coach tells you that they don't have a coach, that person is a hypocrite. Do not hire a coach that doesn't have a coach.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion at least.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I definitely have coaches, coaches, not just one coach in different sections, as you share, Claudia. I including what I teach, because hey, I've only teach this that many years instead of the 60 years or 40 years that Bob Proctor and Mary Morrissey, and even people that level. I know these people closely. Even people at that level, they don't have a so-called coach over them, but they do. I know for sure Mary Morrissey and Bob Proctor connect at least a couple times a week to keep each other in tune, in alignment, because otherwise we lose focus and back to the not being able to see yourself. Even when you are an expert, you can benefit from somebody else looking at what you're doing and be to do that. So that is something that definitely something that I find very, very true as well.
And you see, this is what you're talking about, right? It's not only just a coach, but for instance, it's an accountability buddy. Perhaps it's a mentor or a guiding person that helps you along, or a teacher or a professor. So this is also that kind of accountability and support that you want, right? And of course, anybody in the audience watching, please feel free to post the questions and we will answer them. And of course, Rumsa, you're more than welcome as well to speak with us and share your opinion.
I had to type because I feel like I've been left out. So basically, to all the audience that are watching, please, can you type any questions if you want to get involved, or type any questions, or you feel that you have your own opinion that is going to be useful to somebody. Please type the questions there on the chat. We can see the chat. Please feel free. And talking about personal development, for me, when you go to any cinema, any events, you take notes. Basically, you take notes. I take a video. I tell you my secret. What I do when I go to a business event, is either if that speaker allows me, I take a video. I'm not doing it for fun, and I take notes. I write notes. And when I get home, if that event is for marketing, or if that event, it can be anything to do with my business, or anything to do with me or with my relationship. And for me to work, I have to take action. Everything that I've learned, I have to take action. Otherwise, if I go there and I'm playing the music, I'm dancing, I'm on cloud 9, and I'm feeling good that moment, when I get home, everyone asks me where I've been. I tell them this is what I've been doing. I'm feeling good. And then a week later, back to reality. Nothing changes. So what helps me is to put everything into practice. You guys spoke about accountability partner. I've got one, Dr. Bigot, but before I had somebody else. But now I've got Dr. Biggett, and I know, so I've created my group. Every single day I have things that I do, and I have to report back to them and let them know what I've done. But at the moment, they have not challenged me, so they keep agreeing to me. So I'm hoping one day they'll give me another challenge to say, we think that you should take this, you should take this. So Dr. Biggett, she's been really good and pushing me. If I don't put a message, she wants to know what's happening, what's going on. So I think that is the process, like what you guys said. If you really, really want to work, everything you are learning, you have to create your own and put it into action. My business basically was built me going to free events. I go to an event, my Facebook, if I go to an event, I download every video that I've taken to my Facebook and I put it private. So it means whenever I'm lost, I need something, I have to go back to the video and play the video again, or the notes, I have to go back to the notes. That's how I deal with the personal development. When I started with the Paul McKenna's programs, basically, I used to stick the house, everything. You go in, there is this, you go in. Like right now, there's lots of pictures in front of me. The people that I admire, the people that are my role model. And I've got all notes of everything. It's in front of me. I can't ignore it. So that is how I deal with the personal development. And everything that I'm learning, I put everything into action straight away. I don't say tomorrow, I don't just read a book for the sake of reading a book. So I don't know with you guys, Kamal, I don't know. I don't read a book or listen to the audio just for the sake of listening to it.
You know, Bob Proctor has that makes me think about one story that I hear from Bob Proctor. His wife worked in a different field than Bob, so Bob Proctor's wife does not work for him. And there was a thing where, and I think any of us who knows Bob Proctor's know how passionately he loved this book here, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And and so the wife and her business partner was having challenge with their business. And Bob says, okay, you got to read organized planning, which is actually something that me and my study partner and I have been studying closely these 90 days. Anyhow, so they study and he said, do that for 30 days. Organized planning for 30 days. And they did that and they did that and they did that. And then after 30 days, they come back to Bob. And they said, so we've studied organized planning for 30 days. And Bob says, okay, great. And how's your result now? They're like, exactly the same. Bob says, this doesn't make sense. What did you do during those 30 days? They're like, we studied, we read it. Bob Proctor said, oh my goodness. No. What I mean is when you study it, you take action. You take organized action based on what you read in that book. So the wife and her business partner went back and study and take action, and they smartly recruit the expert guidance by the expert himself, Bob Proctor, to guide them through the 30 days. And by the end of that 30 days, the result was so significantly different. But that is such a striking example that I hear early in my journey. And so you really want to find something where you are able to receive an expert guidance on somebody that resonate with you. Everybody, even just in here, if you listen to us, we speak differently. I streamline everything. As you notice, I put everything on acronyms and this and that because, well, I'm the kind of person that won't remember a lot of things, and I just too lazy like that. And I know, for instance, Kamal approached things in very differently. He's really good with quotes and logical informations and things like that. What's your thought about this, Kamal?
Well, I would love to share, and thank you. I know how organized you are. I'm actually a disorganized person, but I know Claudia had something to share earlier, and I've got this open loop in my mind that I cannot stop thinking about what you've got to say, Claudia, before I start speaking.
Okay, it's just like Nomza mentioned the word challenge earlier, and then I thought as well, you learn by challenging yourself, right? Yeah, this is when we learn, and it might feel uncomfortable again because we are in the comfort zone, and comfort zone doesn't always mean it's comfortable, right? But it's something we know and we are familiar with, and we know how to deal within this comfort zone. So basically as well, the learning happens outside of the comfort zone. And usually as well, we tend to get a bit fearful about some things because it's new and we never did it and we just don't know how it would feel. And again, fear in regards to the acronyms, I like the wording explained, false evidence appearing real. So it's just like something, do it and feel it and do it anyway. Because afterwards, if you look back, you would see it wasn't that bad. It is just something new, unknown, and you have to do it a few times and then it becomes your a comfort zone at the next one. So yeah, get challenged. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I see, and when that reminds me now, when you were talking about that challenge, which also kind of relates to what you were talking about earlier, Birgit. Now, you were talking about going to a seminar, and going to seminars, you automatically have that herd mentality. And I'm sorry, right? You have that herd mentality and herd motivation effect, where because everybody is hyper, everybody's excited, and the music is loud, and stand up and loud, and yes, and all of that. So everybody is on that energy level. They're up here, right? And everybody, yes, I can do that. And they apply and they pay and they get their credit cards out, and everybody's up here all the time during those 2, 3, 5 hours, even sometimes, right? Now, what happens when they go home? That motivation level stays for maybe an hour, 2, 3, 5 a day, but then gradually it decreases. Why? Because they haven't taken that energy, they haven't taken that momentum to push themselves to take action, like Birgit was saying, to push themselves and challenge themselves, like Claudia was saying. And that is the biggest problem. Now, I know this is from the mouth of Tony Robbins in one of the interviews. In his seminars, only 1% of the attendees make a difference in their life. 1%. And we're talking about thousands of people that attend, right? So why does this happen? It is that herd mentality, that herd effect that happens. Everybody's up here, but as soon as they leave, they don't have an accountability buddy or an accountability person. They don't have a coach. They don't have a guide. They don't have a mentor. They don't have somebody that they want to share that experience so that they can challenge themselves with. But everybody learns differently, right? Birgit was mentioning that. She's saying she's good with that organization, and she's good in her way on how to process things. I'm terrible at organization. I'm actually terrible. Like, my mom used to scream her head off for me to go and get 5 things, just 5 things from the store. I would come back with 3. And then she would tell me to go back again and come back again. And I'd go back again and I'd come back again. And it was it was endless, right? But when it comes to doing very specific things, I'm very good at them. I don't have an eidetic memory, but I have some sort of visual memory. I remember a lot of quotes. I remember a lot of history, a lot of stories that have been told. And this is how I work. Funny thing, I have a little bit of a record of my clients. But when I have different clients during the week, let's say I have 3 or 4 or 5 different clients, I'm capable of remembering the story of each person. And that's how I work. But that is my organization skill. These are the methods that work best for me. Now, how do I motivate myself? Even though I'm terrible at organizing myself sometimes, I put myself into a routine, a discipline. See, I take it from a different perspective. I don't like routine and organization, but I know how to discipline myself because I'm a martial artist. I have a karate dojo, so I have to know some sort of discipline and order and organization to run the classes. So there has to be an action that needs to be taken for me to grow. As much as I'm a trainer in the dojo or a teacher, I still have to grow. So I have to have an accountability person for that. And that's where I have also the other trainer that trains with me. So again, accountability, action, right? All of these, they matter in your everyday for you to grow, for you to push that personal development part. So I don't know, like Birgit, you were speaking about that. And I think now, Claudia, I would really like to hear what you think about those points.
Do you say about the action, Kamal?
Yeah, about the actions and how people, about that motivational part, about how that motivation doesn't really
I see.
work alone, right?
So, I mean, the thing is as well, you have to have a good why, a strong why, why are you going to sign up for a program or the coach or something, or the workshop, the webinar as well, to have a good why. And sometimes as well, if the pain is very strong, this is as well a motivator. Yeah, sometimes people wait until it's just like until they basically can't hide it any longer, and then it's really time to be motivated and to do something in regards to changing their life and to get a better life as well. What do you think, Enomsa, about it in regards to the motivation?
I think you are right, Claudia. Basically, you have to have your big why, and also you have to have a plan, big why, and you have to have strength as well. Because, like myself, my system is this. This is the guy, the lion. I have a picture of a lion that helps me. When a lion finds itself in a slaughterhouse, he'll find his way out. He will find a way out, regardless of whatever situation. So that represents me, my strength, my courage, everything is in front of me there. So I have the picture of Jesus here. Jesus is not a liar. When you go to a seminars, you go to Cloud9, you dance like everybody else, you take notes, you take videos, and you don't take action, that means you are a liar to yourself. So this represents the truth. For me, it represents the truth. The truth is for me, what I say, to do things that I said I will do, to do things that I desire, the things that when I look at someone driving a nice car, and I say I need to work hard to go and buy myself a nice car, that is the truth. But when I desire something and I get home, I get lazy, that means I'm a liar. So this man, he represents the truth, he represents action, he represents the kingdom of unconditional love, he represents wealth, represent everything. So I want to be everything. So this is my man, Martin Luther King. He spoke the truth, speaks his mind. So I'm not afraid to actually take action and face the consequences later. The consequences might be good, might be bad, as long as I took actions. Because like Kamal was saying, you have to take actions. Claudia, you spoke about big why. And Dr. Bigger, you spoke about accountability when Dr. Bob Proctor's wife and his partner, they just read books and they didn't take action. So for me, this man represents the truth. He died for the truth, speaking the truth and not being afraid of what people think of him. So that these are my character that I've chosen, that I've created, that every time I make excuse, I have to look at these characters and say, what would they think if I was to come face to face with them? So that means things have got to be done. And my accountability, Dr. Bigot. And things are going well sometimes. There were times where I was preparing for TV interview a few days ago. I was so tired and so exhausted. And I look at the questions because I'm everywhere. I look at the questions. I was like, do I need to practice these questions? And I was like, no, actually, the people when somebody asks you questions, they ask you questions about what you do and why do you do the things that you do. So that's how I'm able to help myself. Why do you do things that you do? And your audience, what are they getting out of it? And what can you give? So I ended up creating the questions. She written questions. I ended up manipulating my mind, creating the questions in my mind. Then I realized I'm stressing myself. I already know the answers. So that's why I just went, Nomsa, take it easy. So I just take it easy and I relaxed. I met the woman, she was nice. It's basically completely different to what I expected. And she was asking me questions, things that I already know. We're just having fun. So I think when you know your big why, that is everything. If you know your big why, you work on your strength, your courage. When you fall, you have your accountability to help you pick yourself up. I think that is everything. Over to you, Kamal.
Thank you, Ramsa. And I love that part,
Is it Dr. Bigot or Kamal? I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter. We all speak, we all share. Unless there's something that's really, really important you want to share now, Bigot, I'll shut up. But no, what I want to say is that there are 2 points here that you made that are very valid. First, I'll talk about that. Oh, I forgot that point now. I'll talk first about lying, okay? You are lying to yourself, that you see. And that's lying to yourself or creating excuses for yourself. It means you're not ready. It means you don't want to take that move. I remember, I think it was last week when I said, if you really want to do something that you enjoy doing, something that you love, then every awake moment you're spending, every second that you spend alive, you spend it on doing what you love, right? You don't create excuses saying, oh, you know what, I need 5 minutes to sit on the computer, or no, I don't want to do it now, I have to do the dishes, no, I want to do the cooking for the kids. No. If you really want to do something, if you're absolutely adamant and have that will, then you will do whatever it takes, and you will spend every living moment working on that, not even trying, right? Trying doesn't exist. Trying is like a failed word of expression. There's nothing you can try. You either do it or you don't. Like I'll quote Star Wars and I'll quote Yoda, right? Either you do or you don't. There is no try. And it's very simple. It's the same applies with how you motivate yourself. I'm not going to talk motivate. Motivate is a spark, right? Motivate is an instant. It happens for a few seconds. Then it's discipline that takes over. You can motivate yourself to get up, but you have to be disciplined enough to take those steps and those actions. Lying to yourself basically means that you're not ready to do whatever needs to be done, whether it's the self-development, whether it's the growth, whether it's even looking into your deep-rooted why, right? Coming to that why, yes, that why is super important to know. Understanding your big why is massive. And this is something that I talk about, right? That I say there's only 10% approximately that, and this is being generous, of people question their existence. They question their why, they question their life, and they want to go deeper into their life to understand it and grow. 10% of the population. Now, from those that know that they want to explore that growth, their whys are covered. They're not sure of what it is. From those that are sure of what there is, or it is, some of them don't push themselves. So just knowing your big why isn't enough. And having motivation and the discipline still isn't enough. You need something even bigger than that. Another step to really push yourself forward into that self-development direction. You need a how. How are you going to take the steps? How many steps are there going to be? You have to break down that super why, that big, massive why of yours, right? Because you can't jump and get that, I don't know what's your favorite car or whatever you're looking for. You can't just jump out of the blue and get yourself a Jaguar or a Land Rover or whatever it is, the car that you love. You need to take steps. You need to start saving. You need to invest. You do this and that and that and that. There are steps. So how are you going to take those steps? How are you going to use your motivation, your discipline, and your accountability to reach that why of yours? And for me, this is that part that also misses. I don't know. What do you think, Claudia?
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, absolutely. Totally agree. And I was as well coming actually up. I just had some guidance as well in regards to a little tip I like to do sometimes. It's the future self talk, yeah? Because if I think of me a year ago at this time, I was terrified in regards to being out there, visible on social media and speaking everything. It was a big fear of me actually as well. So I did my work, I got rid of the blogs and everything. And today, a year later, thinking back of the version back then, I'm so glad I did step up. I didn't buy into the being comfortable and everything. And just like you can do the same as well with the future version as well of you, just like tune into 6 months or a year ahead and speak to that version of you as well. What advice or tip he or she can give to you as well, yeah? And you'll always be surprised as well that it's just something very loving and very gentle and kind as well, so that it's much more easy for you as well to do the next step and to do the work and to put the work as well into you, yeah? Does it make sense, Nomza? This a future and the past self?
It does make sense.
Okay,
It does make sense. What you're saying, like it actually complements what Kamal was saying. Yeah, he was saying you need to know the steps that you're gonna take. And what you are saying as well is look at your life now, where you are, and then just imagine where you will be in a year's time. Like you were saying, you were terrified of being on social media a year ago. I was terrified too, but I had to, when I went to see Desi O'Connor, I think it was 2018, and they're telling me that I'm gonna have to go on stage. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm paying you to do the work and you're telling me I'm gonna be on stage. And I was like, okay, I'll do whatever it takes, whatever I have to do. And I'm not afraid of doing the work. So by the mentality, when I went to see him, my mentality was different. For me, I believed that a coach has to do the work, it delivers the work. I didn't know actually I have to do the work. That's the mentality I had, that my coach is going to deliver the work. But when I sat down, he tells me the numbers. This is how much I'm going to charge you. I was like, what now? And he tells me that you're going to have to do the work. And I was like, I do the work, I'm paying you. Okay. And he says, you're going to have to go on stage. And I was like, okay. But I was terrified when he was giving me the instructions. Nomsa, this is, if you want to work with me, this is what I expect of you. On social media, your company, I expect you to go and train yourself to go and approach people. When you go to seminars, don't be somebody that goes and dress up and look at people. You go and say hello to people, talk to people, find out what they do. So those are the things that I was terrified, but because there was a big why I wanted this, and the personal development, I wanted it to work. Like Kamal was saying, I knew the steps are going to be too many of them. So I had to take them. So, and also, when you actually, and also one more thing that Kamal said, he talks about, you get excited and you take your credit card out, you buy programs. He was like, buying programs is a no when I'm coaching, sir. If you want to buy a program, I need you to come and sit down with me first and tell me why you want to buy this program, or give me a call and see if it matches with the company. And the reason why he said that, at first I didn't get it. I was like, he's being selfish and things like that. But the reason why he said that, when I started attending more business events, I got to Andy Harrington, and people, you get used to people. I see somebody that I know, and they're taking credit card programs, $3,000. They're paying, they're running, and they're paying. Then I go to somebody else. Some people, credit card, the cost is $4,000. They're paying out. And I was like, how are you getting to actually use all these programs? And this girl was like, I'm just buying. And I was like, thank you, Des, because I think if you did not give me this advice, I would be like this. And I think Tarini as well, she told me that at first she was one of them taking the credit card out all the time, until she actually realized she needs to get one expensive coach that are going to direct it to one direction. So those are the things that come out touch, that basically you take a credit card to every seminar but no results. So that was the part of the with the days that you go to a seminar, you don't get your credit card out, Nomsa, unless you know what you want. You know you're gonna use this program, and he helped me a lot, because now if I want to do something, I'll make a phone call to him and say, there's a program that they are selling, I think it's going to be useful for my brain, for the company. And he'll say, yeah, I think that's fine. But I've never bought any program. I joined the business show. Business show, it means when there is free for startups, there is something for free. They bombard you with the free coaches and free everything. I just took free of everything. And my company, the brand is powerful. I took free of everything and taking action. So that's what it is. So over to you, Dr. Pickett. You got kicked out.
Thank you, Numsa. Yes, the internet is having its own mind. But I love what you said there, because a lot of people do go to different places and different seminars and different things, and they say, oh, let me take this and let me take that. And there are studies by now that, like I think Kamal or somebody says earlier, that or maybe it's Claudia, that it's actually, there is a relationship in how much you invest in how much you work. And so for people who says, oh, let me get this and let me get that, if you are able to do that easily, if you are having a program that you can easily buy like that, guess what? You very possibly will easily forget about that expense as well and not do what you need to do. Versus like what you said, Numsa, when you actually have a coach who is helping you truly invest in yourself through the coach, and yes, you're investing in yourself, so you're doing the work. The coach is what we say, the expert guidance. We're here to guide you. We're not here, I with my grief clients, I say, you want, and they're in a lot of pain, so I'm like, you got to climb the rough mountain, so to say, yourself. Yeah, it's I've done this. I've climbed the rough mountain so many times. I can tell you where to turn, which hole to avoid, and how not to get poked by the cactus, so to say. But you still got to climb the mountain. We just help you such that you'll succeed climbing the mountain instead of slipping right back down. And so that's the things about, you want to actually, instead of just, yeah, let's get this, you invest in yourself. What is it that really, and back to the why that y'all was sharing about while I was navigating my internet, was, what is it that really calling you? Focus in that. Back to that, focus in what it is that one thing. We all has multiple things that we would love, but we want to focus, and when you are able to focus, that then you are able to actually simplify everything. My main thing when you work with me is everything is simplified, everything is streamlined. I know it's opposite Kamal, but that's what makes us all unique. Everything simplified, everything streamlined, that you got this, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the 5 fingers that I use. My main method is the 5 fingers. All you do is here. All you need is here. And so focus what it is, what's first calling you. If you look at your finger, your hand has a base here. What is your base? What's your really calling you? And then go from there to, what's the next step? And as you say, it's, you don't just get distracted by shiny object. That's what I call all the programs are, the shiny objects. And so you got to know where you want to go and go from there, and then taking the next steps from there. And so that's what I would say. It's really why number one reasons personal development doesn't work by itself to me. What about you, Kamal? What is your takes on, because I love when you always listening to Kamal after I share something, because like we say, you kind of like take things in a different angle. We all share the same thing, but different angle. It's always lovely to hear your different angle.
That's what funny, where you missed out. Now I called it the how, right? You called it your 5 fingers and how you get out. You do the first one, the second one, the third one, and I called it earlier. I was speaking about the how, right? What's important. Yes, you have your why. And then I said, well, the how is actually how you'll get there. What are the steps that you're going to do? And you're absolutely right, right? It's a division. It's chunking down those steps. It's knowing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's having that accountability that we spoke about. It's having the steps that we need. But I'm not going to repeat myself here. But and I know we're coming close to the end of the time. So I'd like to hear what Claudia has to say about, again, what Birgit was sharing right now, because I spoke right a lot. So
you love to talk. I'm surprised you're refusing to talk, Kamal.
So I can say, like before as well, we start to wrap up, basically as well, to the audience. If you feel a bit stuck in your life as well right now, it's just like, it's just like go out and seek for someone who resonates as well with you, because in the end as well, we have to like the energy of the person we are going to commit and to work for as well. And the thing is as well, if you see this as an investment in yourself rather than something else, because the truth is an investment in yourself, and the universe loves it, absolutely. So it's going to applause when you do make the decision actually as well, and then it's even coming halfway towards you as well, and to give you as well the shifts and the desired outcomes as well. So it's an investment in you and in the quality of your life.
You see, that investment is an important part, right? And that's where it leads to. Remember, people spend their credit cards because they don't, or they say, "Oh, I've got money on the credit card. I can do this. I can do that." Some people, they actually take mortgages over their houses just to go to seminars, and then they don't do anything about it. Now they're just investing money into that person without doing anything. This is the difference between investing money into yourself, into your future, like Nomsa was talking about earlier. I only choose the courses, or I'm only going to pay for courses that will help me develop and that are related to my business. And that's where coming into knowing the why, like Claudia was talking about, that's coming to talk about what are the steps that we're going to talk about, like Birgit was saying. And it comes back to the root of that motivation, the discipline, and the steps that we need in our life. Now, I'm going to just finish here before I leave everybody and leave you guys as well. And I'm going to share today a quote from, like I always do, obviously, from Socrates. And this quote embodies exactly what we were talking about today. The only missing part is obviously having that accountability person. However, if we speak Socrates, we speak Aristotle, we speak about all the ancient Greek philosophers, they all had accountability buddies and all had mentors. So he said, "Let him who would move the world first move himself." And with that, I will thank everybody for watching so far. And to you, Nomsa.
Is it me or Dr. Birgit? Dr. Birgit has not said goodbye to the audience. Words of encouragement, Dr. Birgit, please.
Yeah, I would say word of encouragements, or actually word of wisdoms, given what we talk about. And I talking about quote, I would quote my mentor, Mary Morrissey, my primary mentor, and she says, entertainment without inspiration without action is merely entertainment. So do you want to be entertained? Or when you invest in something, is it because you feel like paying for expensive entertainment? Or are you truly wanting to invest in yourself and change your life? And if you do, then take actions. And a lot of time, the first actions, if you don't know exactly all the steps already and where to go and how to focus and so forth, then invest in an expert guidance, because then you can efficiently create what it is that you would love. And so invest in yourself if you truly want to change.
Thank
What
you
about
so
you,
much.
Claudia?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Birgit. I just agree with Dr. Birgit. Just take actions. If you go to a business event and you don't do anything, nothing is going to happen. For me, I have a business coach. I have a matchmaking coach. I have somebody who goes to my Instagram, criticize, and give me some advice. I pay them to go on Instagram and let me know what improvement I need. I have someone on LinkedIn, Kamau, I referred him to you. I don't know if you guys did some work. And he goes on LinkedIn and he lets me know what needs to be improved, and he does some work. So because of the learning that I go, when I go to seminars, I learn, and then don't be afraid if you don't know anything to ask. Don't be afraid. That's what I can tell you. Like, there's some things that I myself, when I go to webinars, that I don't know. And yesterday I filled out an application form to Peter Sage, and he was saying, why do you want to be this? And I put that because I feel that I'm a copycat. I need to be original. And I woke up this morning with a reply saying, you've been shortlisted. I just had to talk shit today or later. Please share, press some heart button, love, and share it with your loved ones. And Claudia, no, I didn't forget Claudia. Yeah, she said goodbye to the audience.
Yes.
Yes,
I
you
have.
did.
I was the first one.
Yes, she was. And it was Kamal who asked you to say goodbye as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're here Monday to Friday, and subscribe to us on YouTube as well. We are on YouTube as well. Please go and watch us on YouTube. And I'm sure these speakers, they are watching YouTube while we talk, and I'm sure they're not. So thank you so much, guys. Live with grace, everyone, and God bless you.
Bye, everyone.